My name is James Walsh, and I'd like to thank you for checking out the Wrestling Epicenter here on YouTube. If you have not done so already, please do. Click that subscription button and the notifications bell. This way you'll be notified anytime I upload any new or new to you classic content from our archives that date back to 2002. If you get the opportunity, please also check out www.wrestlingepicenter.com for all your wrestling news and info needs, as well as our store to keep us going free and clear. Without any further delay, let's get to why you came here, the content here on YouTube.
The former Sirelda from TNA Wrestling, Jaime Dauncey. Jaime, how's it going this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you. How are you?
We're doing excellent right now, and we're very glad you're able to spend the time with us.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Well, first question we have is you recently appeared at the Bound for Glory pay-per-view this year during the, and I don't want to give the whole title, so I'll just say the X Division Gauntlet Battle Royal. How is it for you getting back into a TNA ring?
Oh, it was awesome. That was probably the best TNA experience I had because it was in Detroit, which is kind of like my hometown because I live across, Windsor, across the river there. And there was the largest crowd I've ever wrestled in front of, and then working with the X Division guys, and it was definitely the best experience, and it was the most comfortable that night for sure. So it felt great to be back in TNA, and the future looks very good for me in TNA. So
awesome. Well, here's a question I was given by one of my listeners. When you gave Frankie Kazarian the side slam, they want to know, how strong are you?
How strong am I?
Yeah.
I'm the strongest girl in the world. No. I don't know. I mean, everyone always asks me that. And I guess for a girl I'm pretty strong, but I just see it as just, doing a move, like, doing a wrestling move. I could do that to, anybody and happen to be a guy, so.
Another one said that, another one asked it, does it make you feel good that you were the second biggest person in the ring with all
sorry?
those? How does it feel to be the second biggest person in the ring at that point?
The second biggest person in the Battle Royal?
Yeah.
Who's the first? I thought I was the first.
I think A1 was, but
A1. No, I got a couple more inches on him. No.
Ah.
No, I know I was told that a lot of people I heard joking around saying, she's bigger than all the X Division wrestlers, which is I guess cool. I just see it as I guess it works in my favor, to have more presence out there and people pay more attention to you and be seen more. I don't feel like it's a negative thing to me, because I'm different from the girls. So, I mean, if I stand out by being bigger and strong, and then that's my thing, and I'll go with that. So.
Okay. I guess the next question is: were you looking forward to catching up with any particular person backstage?
Was I looking forward to what?
Catching up, meeting, talking to.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was looking forward to seeing Dixie Carter, Jeff Jarrett, Terry Taylor. Definitely looking very forward to finally, my first time meeting Kurt Angle. He was very, very professional and got a lot of presence and charisma to that guy. And then just definitely all the TNA roster. I mean, it's a great locker room. Everyone's friendly. Everyone's willing to help one another. It's a great atmosphere backstage. So being part of that, it was definitely very awesome for me. With everybody backstage is great.
Okay.
And,
Okay, cool. Final question about that was, you were given what they call a crotch shot in the match. Was your reaction something planned, or did it legitimately hurt?
Well, they thought it would be funny because of my size, and sometimes the crowd, she's a man, and we get the man comments to sell it. But I'm fine with whatever's going to work with my character. I guess and what's good for the wrestling business is good for me. But yeah, I was, they thought it would be funny if I sold a crotch shot, so I went with it. And I think that my moves got more of a reaction than the crotch shot, so I think that my wrestling skills will outweigh that one day. So if that's what is going to get me known as being the man, or being known as the woman man, or whatever they want to call me, then that's fine. That's my character. That's not really who I am. So
kind of like that China, that Enigma thing, and she had in the beginning of her career, huh?
With China?
That whole Enigma, that whole isn't she?
Pardon?
I'm sorry, I'm being silly.
Oh no, you can say whatever. I just couldn't hear you.
Is it kind of like that that China thing with the is she a man, isn't she a man?
Oh, for sure it is. Yeah, okay. Yeah, for sure. That's why I'm glad she was before me, because I can learn from her and follow in her footsteps, because she opened up the door for someone like me. Because right now in wrestling, it's all models and stick kind of girls and boobies and butts and everything. It's not about the wrestling, There's a place for girls like that in wrestling, but when it comes to actual matches, I think that they should leave it up to the females that have the talent to put on a match and to entertain, and leave the sex for a different part of the show.
I agree totally.
So that's what I would like to do, is help bring back women's wrestling and let the talented women work. Don't hire girls just because they're hot and sexy. There's a million girls out there that can entertain the fans that might not be the hottest girls. So, so that's what I feel like my job in wrestling is to do, is to help bring back and respect, have women respect to begin in the sport. In sports in general, women are treated less than the men, so it's worse in wrestling, I think. And the way it's going right now, all the odds are against me, but you just gotta keep on going and believe in yourself, and just keep wrestling and doing what works. And yeah.
Okay, well, next, it's apparently obvious that you happen to be a bodybuilder. Is it a hobby, or have you ever competed?
Yeah. Actually, growing up as a kid, I remember looking at the muscle and fitness magazines, and I was just in awe of people with muscle. I love muscles. And, Arnold Schwarzenegger is definitely one of my biggest mentors in my life. And the thing I love about bodybuilding is, in order to do that sport, you need dedication, discipline, you need determination, consistency. All those variables contribute to an athlete. And you can move that in areas of your life, like wrestling too, because the body's important. And not just that, you go to practice and, you got to go to the gym and take care of your body. And if you have all those, if you have the dedication, the drive, and the determination, then nothing can stop you. And that's what I love about bodybuilding. Yeah, I love to go, I just went to the Mr. Olympia contest in Vegas this year, and that was a blast. I love watching bodybuilding. It's definitely a hobby, and I did compete in 2000, 2001, but I knew in my heart that to do that, wasn't for me. I wanted to do more than just stand on a stage and pose. Wrestling allows me to go out there and just be me and, really come out of my shell. Whereas bodybuilding is kind of boring to do for me personally, but I love watching it, and I love what people have to go through to become a bodybuilder, which is, like I said, determination and the discipline and the drive and the commitment and sacrifice, and all of those, you use that in all your areas of life, and you can be successful at anything you do. So that's why I love bodybuilding.
Okay. Well, we have some questions about bodybuilding. We've always wanted to ask someone.
Sure.
Right. Is it true that bodybuilders starve themselves before a competition?
No.
Okay.
They don't starve themselves. What they do is, anywhere from 12, 16 to 18 weeks out from their show date, what they do is, they're eating 6 to 8 times a day, every 2.5, 3 hours, but the meals are clean. You have your protein sources, your chicken breasts, turkey, egg whites, extra lean ground beef, extra lean ground turkey, protein powder, and then for carbs you'd have potatoes, brown rice, yams, oatmeal, any kind of grains, whole wheat products, and then for, vegetables, all your greens, broccoli, cauliflower, green beans and stuff, and you add, you have a protein source, a carb source, and a vegetable source at each meal. And you're always eating, but you're not, you don't get to eat pizza, no sugars and stuff like that. So it's very, very hard to stay on a diet like that, every day, 12 weeks. It's so hard, but, that's what willpower and dedication come in, and, how strong are you in the mind? It's all about your mind power. So, they get cheat days here and there, but it's just like one meal or one day out of the whole, 12 weeks. There might be a couple cheat days, but in order to get your body ready for the stage, it takes so much work. And then 75-80% is diet. And then, you have your training and then the cardio. So you need all three of those together. But, no, you don't starve yourself at all. They're constantly eating. It's just very, very clean foods. There's no junk at all. And that's what burns the fat and builds the muscle.
Does it bother you that some bodybuilders, both male and female, have opted for plastic surgery in addition to their training?
Like, you mean the females getting boob implants, or?
Yeah.
That's their choice. If I don't think it looks good on a female bodybuilder with implants, because you have all this muscle and then you have these plastic boobs. But all the fitness girls and all the figure girls, they all pretty much have them, and that's their choice, that's their decision. Who's to say it's wrong or right? But if that's what they like, and if it looks good for them, then that's fine. Everybody does their own thing, so it's not right to judge people on what they do. So I just feel like it's none of my business if that's what they want to do.
All right, as a female woman, I'm sorry. Let me try to make that sound less patronizing. Does it bother you that women's fitness competitions are more popular with television viewers, yet the men get more prize money and are judged more objectively?
I can't hear you, though.
I'm sorry. I'll speak a little louder. Does it bother you that women's fitness competitions are more popular with television viewers, yet the men get more prize money and are judged more objectively?
For the fitness shows?
Fitness shows, bodybuilding shows, things like that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think those people in that sport, I think they work the hardest for, like, one of the hardest working athletes. And the payoff is not what, you see, like, baseball players or hockey players or football players make. They don't make anything. They work so hard for that day. And the prize money is very, very little, so they have to rely on their sponsorships and appearances and guest posing to make their extra money. And the popular ones are successful. They do make a lot of money, but I think there definitely should be. They should definitely, when you're at the pro level and you're, at the Olympia level or the Arnold level, then you should be making definitely way more money than what they do for prize money. Because the shows are making millions. They make so much money off those shows, and the athletes don't do nothing. So I think that they definitely need to get paid more. But most of them do pretty good because of their appearances in their magazines and all their photo shoots and stuff. So the top 6, I think, like bodybuilding and fitness and figure girls, they make the money. But the other girls coming up, they got to work hard and try and get their sponsorships and get your name out there. And it's just like any sport, though. I think the more popular you are, and the more in demand you are, then the more money you can make. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to skip the big question for now because I don't want to offend you at all. So.
I don't get offended.
Well, it involves that big long S word, and I don't want to bring it up right now.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
The S word?
S word, yeah.
For the drugs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can ask me anything you want.
Okay.
I don't have anything to hide.
All right. Well, okay, I'll just ask it. Are steroids as rampant in bodybuilding as we're being led to believe?
Well, it's obvious that the females, female bodybuilders are on stuff, and the males. Fitness and figure girls, I don't, know too much about what they take, but, personally, I don't like the look of the female bodybuilders nowadays. I think it's too much. The fitness and figure girls, I think they look perfect. That's what a girl should look like that works out with weights. But I think they're in every sport, and they'll never go away. But it's up to the athlete too. If that's how they want to look, then they have to pay the consequences. I'm sure there's tons of bad side effects, so that's their choice. Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, let's get back to your career. When you won the TNA Gut Check Challenge, 2004 October GNC show.
Yeah.
Could you go through what the physical challenges were?
Sure.
Okay.
Basically, I was at the GNC show of strength. It was in it was in a big room with there was bodybuilding and fitness shows going on at the time too. It was a big expo hall, what it was, and we had a ring set up in there. And it wasn't even about the wrestling. I'd say we had 2 days. It was more like boot camp. The first day, I'd say the first 3 hours when we got there, it was push-ups, sit-ups, squats for 3 hours straight. And I mean, people just started walking away. They were quitting left, right, and center. It was very, very tough. We did sprints. We did all these kinds of drills. By that, it was 6 hours the first day of just boot camp stuff. They were killing us in there. And then near the end was when we would get in the ring and run the ropes and take some bumps and stuff. The second day we come back, we did the same thing: push-ups, sit-ups, squats, sprints, drills. Everybody's puking by the second day. A lot of people, half the people had quit by then, and it was just it's definitely very, very tough to go through. But they told you what it would consist of, so I kind of trained for about 2.5 months before I would do my own push-ups, sit-ups, squats, and then start running, doing mile runs and sprints and stuff. So when I got there, I was definitely prepared because I knew what we were in for. So, but it was definitely tough. I mean, they wanted to see who had it in them to last, and they just killed us for 2 days straight. I'm just so happy that I came out the way I did. Never gave up, and I came up the winner for the females, and that was very, very rewarding. So it was definitely worth it.
Wow. Makes me tired just even.
Oh, you have no idea. After the first night, we went to our hotel and we were soaking in the tub and putting all this muscle cream on us, and then when we were leaving, going home from the airport, we could hardly walk. They killed us.
Wow.
They sure did.
Well, one of the prizes, I believe, was a month at a TNA training camp.
Yeah, actually, it was a 10-week course. For winning, they gave me $4,000 and 10 weeks training with TNA. And this training was the best training that I would say any wrestler could ever get, because it was 5 days a week, 3-hour sessions. It was in my hometown. The schooling was here, which was awesome, Windsor, Ontario. The trainer was Scott Demore and Tyson Dukes, and like I said, we went through everything from the very beginning, the basics, to putting matches together, to the psychology. Without this training, I don't think I'd be the wrestler I am today, and I'm just so grateful that I got to go through that 10 weeks training. It was me, and it was the male winner, John Boland, who's now signed with WWE Developmental. There was about 6 other guys in it, so I was the only girl. And all the guys in there were at least 6'2", 6'4", 245. There was a pro bodybuilder with us. His name's Matt Duvall. Mm-hmm. And he trained with us too, so it was very, very, very tough, but it was very, very exciting, and very hard work. And yeah, so after the 10 weeks we did that, we had to go down to TNA, and try out in front of Dusty Rhodes and Jeff Jarrett and Jerry Jarrett, and we had to do matches in front of them and drills, and so that was exciting and scary too, but we got through it, and it was awesome. It was really cool.
Did you start training with the Can-Am Wrestling School just after
this?
Yeah,
I started training with the Can-Am Wrestling School, but the practices were Mondays and Thursdays, and sometimes there'd be someone there teaching, sometimes there wouldn't be. Sometimes, the classes weren't always packed, and so I wasn't getting the training that I needed. I wasn't getting, what I needed. And when that 10 weeks training course came, it was Scott Moore's job to get us ready at the TNA level, and he did that. He did that perfectly. I mean, he's an excellent trainer. I'm sure everyone knows him as being, Coach Moore, but he's a gift to wrestlers because he, in his heart and his passion, is to get us ready, and he doesn't stop until you're ready. And he's definitely a great coach, a great teacher. And I guess he's kind of like, like the fit family of WWE, he's like that. Kind of old school too, but he believes in the basics and psychology. And so.
Awesome. Well, many of our fans want to live the dream of being a wrestler. So, if you could you describe your first match? I believe it was at the Chiakiara Club.
Yeah, the Chiakiara Club.
Yeah.
I did. It was Tracy Brooks and Angel Williams. They were having a match, and my job was to come out and pretty much just destroy them. And, I think I pressed play on Angel over my head and dropped her on Tracy after clotheslining Tracy to the ground. And, the Chicharo, those were, Border City shows, and they used to draw, every month 1,000 people. So there's a huge crowd. And, it was definitely a very, when you get out there and your adrenaline's going and you have that, that very, very high feeling in the crowd. And, it's just, it was awesome to go out there. And my first match, I know I was very, very excited and just wanted to go out there. But I was clueless. Looking back, I'm like, I didn't have a clue. The first 2 years I did matches, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. Like I said, that TNA training is what really got me to understand and get me ready. But, before that, I don't, it was just, screwing around here and there. So I didn't take it that seriously either until the TNA, when I won that TNA gut check. So.
All right. Well, fast forward a little bit to Slammiversary 2006. You seem to have your adrenaline pumping in front of that in that match. How excited were you?
Oh, the Slammiversary, that was the one when I chokeslammed Gal, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was my very first live pay-per-view ever. My very first work with TNA. I just came out of my shell. I mean, I think that when you're born to do, when you're born to do something, then it's going to show. And every time, like, you step into a TNA ring in front of pay-per-views or TV, that feeling's always there. It's just this force inside of you, and it wants to come out and show everybody who you are and what you can do. And it just, before I went out there, I was Jaime. I was just me, nervous wreck to go out there and do it. And then when I get out there, it's like, it just turns on, and you're out there, and it's just like there, and it's that feeling, and the crowds, it's just amazing, So.
Awesome. Well, a couple of weeks later, Jim Cornette is in the middle of the ring and calls you that big-looking Amazon woman.
Yeah.
And
I remember.
Then they give you the name Sirelda.
Yeah.
Who came up with that name?
Well, when I first got to TNA, they told me that, they went through 20 different names, and they wanted me, because of my size, they thought it would work if I was going to be like, European, background with some kind of name, like, what was that? Xena, yeah. They wanted to go kind of like that way, like a Xena kind of warrior kind of girl. But all the names they did pick were taken, so they had to go through this process where, if it was a name already used, then they couldn't use it for legal reasons. But then when I first started with TNA, they didn't have a name for me. So like, we don't have a name for her. And then the office just throw all these names around, and then Sirelda came up. And then I admit that when I was first told about the name Sirelda, I was like, oh man, that name's awful. I hate that name. It's just terrible. But, it's really grown on me, and it's really catching on. And, I mean, people are starting to know Sirelda. So, I mean, I'm fine with it now. I mean.
or one of the internet mavens. I won't give his name because I don't like the guy personally, but he released a rumor that the reason why they chose Sirelda was because, you know.
Yeah, I heard that too. But
Yeah.
that could be true. I mean, because they can call me Sir for short. Hey, you know what
Mhm.
though? It's not always going to be about the man, she-male thing. So if that's what they want to say in the beginning, obviously, you know, yeah, it gets my foot in the door and it's my name's out there. Then you know, you can call me whatever you want because I'm still going to become something in this business, and you know, and I'm going to do my job. And you know, the name is a name, and I think the talent, you know, become the name. And you know, if they say, you know, Sir for short, and then, you know, it doesn't bug me because I know that's not who I am, and I know that in the beginning I knew I was going to get that kind of treatment and talk. Maybe it's going to be there for a year or 2 years, because it happened to China. She got it a lot worse, and maybe I haven't even gotten the tip of the iceberg what I'm going to get, but I'm willing and ready to deal with whatever comes my way with the name and that character and all this stuff, because hey, if the fans are talking, then that's a good thing. You know, if they weren't talking, then I'd be worried. So they can say whatever they want. As long as they come buy a ticket and watch me wrestle.
Awesome.
Or tune in every Thursday night starting at 9 o'clock. Spike TV.
November 16th, yes.
Yeah, they're 2-hour specials.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, your profile was taken off the TNA website just after your match with Gail Kim at Hard Justice. Did you and TNA part ways, or was just
no. Well, probably. I don't know why. I didn't ask that, but you know, I was brought back, and I'm told that my future does look very bright. So, I mean, eventually it's going to be added on. It's just right now I'm not on a TV storyline. So, you know, starting in January, you know, they're going to start doing more house shows. I'm going to be part of that. And then, you know, it's get in slowly, but, you know, I know that I will be back at TNA, and I will be a great character for TNA, and I just have to patiently wait. And, because I mean, if you watch TNA, you see people, and then you don't see people. You see people, you don't see people. They only have an hour show. So, you know, I have a lot of faith and belief that I will definitely be back, and, I'm going to be there to stay next time. So, I mean, you know, August was my last pay-per-view with them, and I wasn't expecting to be part of Bound for Glory. Terry Taylor had contacted me and asked me to be part of the X Division, and that came out of the blue. I mean, so I have to be prepared for the next thing to come up. So, I mean, it could be the next pay-per-view, it could be January, but I know that it's coming, and I got to be ready. So, in the profile, I'll be back up. Don't you guys worry.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
for sure it will be.
this is one question that we always like asking because the answers vary from person to person. Since there's not much money in indie wrestling,
Pardon?
Since there's not much money in independent wrestling, how did you support your wrestling habit?
Yeah, I know. That's a good question. You know, you don't make money, you know, until I think you're an established name and you're in demand and you know, people want to pay you to come in. But, I work as a trainer at a gym. So I, supported myself that way, and then they would usually wrestle on weekends in the beginning. So I'd work Monday through Friday at the gym and then wrestle on weekends for the first couple of years. And then, I just, you know what, I have a good question because, I mean, here 5 years later and I'm still not making that much money, and, you know, still support myself through the business. But when I got to TNA is when I started actually seeing some money, you know, from wrestling. Like, they pay for your flight and hotel, and they give you, you know, whatever they give you for appearance. Everyone's different, but so it's, the money's starting to pay off, and I think that, the bookings ever since TNA's been more like, definitely more people know who I am, more people want to book me, and I've been a lot busier than I've ever been. And I'm actually starting to see more money come in. So, eventually I'd like to be a full-time wrestler and not have to work at the gym. But the gym is a great place for me right now because it keeps me focused. And my training gets done, the cardio gets done, I get to eat my meals. And then, you know, I can take the days off I need to go wrestle. So it's all working pretty good. But definitely I'd say my mom's helped me a lot too. You know, financially a little bit too, help me with my dreams. So.
Okay, well, we'd like to end this, and once again, we can't thank you enough. We'd like to end this with a few word associations.
Sorry?
Once again, we really can't thank you enough for spending the time with us. And we'd like to end with a few word associations.
Okay.
Basically, we'll give you a name, and if you have a one-word answer, that's fine. If you'd like it, but if you have a story, feel free to share.
Okay.
Okay. First name, you mentioned him before, is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. He is, he's a master, on earth because everything that man has said he's gonna do, he has done. Every goal he has, he's accomplished. And, you know, what I love the most about Arnold is, now here's a guy who come from a different country, came in, you know, lived his dream, but he had the most powerful mind, and I'm sure he had a lot of people trying to bring him down, and he never let anybody get to him, and he was just like, he believed in himself so much, and he believed in his dreams, and he believed that he could do anything he wanted to, and he did everything, and that's what I love, that's why I love Arnold Schwarzenegger so much, just because, you know, he knew he was number one, and he never let anybody tell him different. And believe me, there's a lot of people telling him that he couldn't do it, and he wouldn't do it. And that's what I love, you know. When people tell you can't do something, you know, you just say, oh yeah, watch this.
All right. Next one on the list is the Incredible Hulk, Lou Ferrigno.
Louis. I like the Incredible Hulk, but Lou Ferrigno, I'm not a big fan of Lou.
Okay. How about someone who's featured on your website, jbd.net, Jenny Lynn?
Jenny Lynn, yes, she's probably one of the greatest female athletes in the world today. Underrated, underpaid, because she's the number one girl in her sport, and I mean, she's got everything. She's got the whole package. She's beautiful. She's intelligent. You know, she's disciplined. She's focused, and she does so much for others. I mean, everything she has, she gives back. So she's a true professional, true athlete, and she's my number one. She's awesome. She's a great girl.
Awesome. How about we've mentioned her a couple of times before in the interview. How about China?
China? I love China. Honestly, when she first came into wrestling, that's what, you know, I remember growing up. I know you said one word, but
no, don't worry about it. We have all the time in the world.
Okay. Yeah, I remember, you know, growing up as a kid, I was glued to the TV set with wrestling, and then as I got to high school, I kind of, you know, I never watched it anymore. And then I remember one day my sister called me up, and she knew I was into like bodybuilding and all that. At the time, I was really into bodybuilding. She called me up and she said, "Hey, you got to turn on, you know, WWF at the time." She said, "There's this girl in wrestling and she's huge. You got to see her, you know." So I turned it on. It was China. I'm like, "Oh my God!" Like, just, you know, she was just the bodyguard at the time, but there was just something about her, you know. You just wanted to watch her, and then just watching her character develop over time, and what she got to do in the wrestling business was amazing. She got to work with The Rock, Stone Cold, and Triple H, all of the top names. And you know what? She had presence, she had charisma, and she had it. She had it. And I think she was so different from all the other girls. She was a star, and she was awesome. And I always said, you know, when I get to this business, I want to go where China went, but go farther, you know, do more, you know, be bigger, not bigger body-wise, I mean like a bigger star. You know, she opened up the door for me, and I just want to come in and you know, I really, really do hope that she comes back to wrestling one day. I don't feel like my career would be complete if I didn't get to step in the ring with her one day, but I mean, anything's possible. I really believe she'll come back one day once she gets, you know, maybe her head on straight, whatever she's going through, but she's definitely a great talent. She was awesome.
I don't know if you're familiar with her, but how about Asia?
Asia. No, I'm not familiar with her.
Okay, she was WCW's attempt at a China clone.
Oh, they tried to make her like China?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? No, I don't know her. I never heard of. Actually, I think I heard of her, but I've never seen her work. Never probably seen her. I don't know. Was she a big star?
Not really.
No. She's just a jabroni. Don't tell her I said that. It's okay after me.
All right. How about another fellow Canadian who just recently retired, Trish Stratus?
Oh, Trish Stratus. I love her. I do. I love her. I had the opportunity to meet her a couple years back, and we kept in touch. She's awesome. She, I mean, it's funny. A lot of people say, she was a bitch backstage, and she did whatever she had to do to do what she, to step on people to get to where she was. But I don't believe that. I think that she was a professional, and she knew what she wanted to become in this business, and she went for it and didn't let anybody, bring her down. And hey, sometimes maybe you got to do things in this business to get ahead. But she was there for the most important thing is she wasn't phony with the fans. I mean, she really did that for the fans, and I think that's what it's all about. I mean, I've been to a few of her signings, and she loves the fans, and the fans love her, and she's got such a connection with them. And I've seen other female wrestlers, and they don't give a shit about the fans. So Trish is real because she did everything she did in that ring, and everything she did in her life during her wrestling career was for the fans. I don't care what anybody says. That's how I saw her and see her. And I think she hopefully will come back for another run. Like, she's another girl that I'd love to step into the ring with one day. But, yeah.
Awesome. Well, how about someone you have stepped in the ring with? You claimed that this was your toughest match, Mickey Knuckles.
Mickey Knuckles. I don't think it was my toughest match. This was like 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. Don't really have much to say about it. I mean, it wasn't a great match. It was just, any day, any time. Let's go, Mickey.
Well, let's get to the TNA ones then. I guess we'll start off with AJ Styles.
AJ Styles?
Yeah.
Now here's an athlete that I've never seen anything like this before. I mean, I remember when the first time I watched TNA, and he was on doing this, all those flips outside the ring, and I was just like, holy crap. AJ Styles started this new era of wrestling. I mean, I think Jerry Lynn was the first. I mean, he definitely, pioneered it and all that. He was the leader of it all, but AJ Styles took it to a whole new level. And look at there's so many guys that are doing what he's done. I think AJ was the leader of it all and the innovator. And I mean, he's so talented in the ring, and he's got a great look. He's got a great body. He's such an athlete, and I'm just glad that, he gets what he gets at TNA, because he's tremendous. I mean, he can go out there and rock any show. He's simply phenomenal. He definitely is. Like I said, he does it for the fans too. What do you think? Don't you think he's incredible?
I think he is, absolutely.
I know the stuff he can do. I'm like, amazing. It's amazing. It's great to watch.
All right. Well, a couple more. How about a fellow Windsor, Ontario, Canada native, Petey Williams?
Petey Williams. You know what? It's funny. Me and Petey, he started about a year before me at school, and when I first started, he was one of the trainers there. And he was just a little kid. He really didn't think that he would go anywhere because of his size, but he had so much talent in the ring. I always tell Peter this. I'm like, your number one fan. I think his work is incredible. I think his look's incredible. I think that he's awesome, and I could watch him all day wrestle. I mean, I'm just so wow, like, this kid is amazing. He's worked very hard too. he definitely deserves everything he got today. So.
Okay, and the final one we have for you is the owner of TNA, Dixie Carter.
Dixie Carter. Dixie Carter is, she is very professional. She believes in everybody that works for TNA. She believes in all the wrestlers. She's the kind of person that if you have a problem or if anything's bugging you, you can go up to her and you can talk to her. She cares about everybody backstage, and she just, every time I see her backstage, she just looks like she's just so happy with the product, and she's just so happy with the talent. And, she is putting all, 100% into making TNA the best wrestling company in the world. And, I really, really admire her. I really look up to her. I really like her. And she's, how professional she is, that's how I would like to be in this business is, she's someone I definitely look up to. And I'm glad it's a woman that's running TNA. Go woman power. Cause, it's all males everywhere, it's such a nice breath there to see a woman in control because, she's, going to be supportive of women wrestlers too.
Awesome. Well, once again, we really can't thank you enough. This has been a pleasure and a privilege for all of us.
Thank you.
And we look forward, now that you've gone through all the talking, it's now shameless plug time. If you'd like, you can plug anything you want. The floor is yours.
Plug anything?
Plug anything. You can, yeah.
Okay. Just start now?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, to all those TNA and wrestling fans, please visit my site, www.jaimed.net. That's JAIMED.net. And from there you can see lots of pictures, and you can send me an email. And I get back to everybody who emails me. I believe that, I would never neglect any of the fans that, when they email me, I appreciate it. I email everybody back. So please check out my site and hopefully, hear from more people and keep watching TNA and supporting TNA because I think that, TNA is going to a huge, huge place soon. Not that it's definitely almost there. Kurt Angle coming in is definitely going to bring TNA to new heights and stuff. And, if you have any, and also if anybody trying to get into the wrestling business, I would definitely suggest Coach Demore. He runs the Can-Am Wrestling School in Windsor, Ontario. It's probably the best training facility to go to become a wrestler. And if anybody's looking for, help on dieting and training and anything, you can go to my trainer, JennyLynnFitness.com, and she does online training and stuff. So visit her site too. That's about it.
All right. Well, once again, thank you for spending the time with us, and we look forward to seeing you in the future.
Yes, thank you very much. And I guarantee that, I'm working very hard right now on, leaning out more and getting some better outfits and, trying new moves and new things. And, I haven't even begun yet. So definitely, I think the future looks very, very bright for Sirelda.
Awesome.
That's
awesome.
Sir for short.
Awesome. Well, once again, thank you very much for this.
My name is James Walsh, and I'd like to thank you for checking out the Wrestling Epicenter here on YouTube. If you have not done so already, please do. Click that subscription button and the notifications bell. This way you'll be notified anytime I upload any new or new to you classic content from our archives that date back to 2002. If you get the opportunity, please also check out www.wrestlingepicenter.com for all your wrestling news and info needs, as well as our store to keep us going free and clear.